Yes, subscribe. You always dey watch we program them, but you not subscribe yet to the channel. All wetin you get for do, press this red subscribe button and then you come over here and press this bell. To the bell option, press this one with all. E don done. E no get for cost you anything. When you do this, na sign for show say you dey support we for make we do more. Thank you for we don help we for share this program. Yeah! God bless you.
In opposition, All People's Congress, APC party has in a press release agreed on a roadmap for peace, reconciliation and healing in their party, and a set of action that shall be undertaken over the coming weeks and months to ensure their party wins the 2022 local council elections and the 2023 presidential and parliamentary elections. This was agreed in a joint meeting between the leadership of the APC, key stakeholders and the party, and the big six members of the party. So this morning, to discuss this and more, we have Dr. Richard Conte, who is a member of the APC party and a member of the Big Six. And we're also expecting to have Honorable Ibrahim Bundu. Good morning, Dr. Conte, and welcome to Wake Up Sierra Leone.
Good morning, Lamran, and my pleasure.
First off, you're a member of the APC and you're also a member of the Big Six.
Big Six Plus.
Okay, so what is the Big Six Plus about?
Well, you know, initially it was 6 members of the APC who are all flag bearer aspirants that thought it fit to be meeting so that we can exchange ideas, we can help overcome our differences, get a better understanding of each other, and possibly make it much more easier down the road if any one of us emerges as a flag bearer for us to work together. And this is because we experienced in 2017, 2018 that many of our colleagues that contested did not rise up to the occasion in terms of providing support for the flag bearer aspirants, and that had its own negative impact on us. So we want to make sure that this time round we start seeing ourselves as comrades, start seeing ourselves as colleagues, and for us to say, just because we are contesting against each other should not make us enemies. Let us go through a free, fair, transparent, peaceful, democratic process. Let whoever is most popular emerge as the winner, and then all the losers will be magnanimous enough to support the winner and ensure victory for the APC.
One of the main contenders for the flag bearer position, who is Dr. Samura Kamara, the 2018 presidential candidate of your party, is not a member of the Big Six, I suppose.
He is now a member of the Big Six Plus.
He has joined.
We have even the National Secretary General, Bayansana, is now a member of the Big Six Plus. And Ibrahim Bundu himself was just entered.
Members? How do you get?
No, the people express an interest. When you express an interest to join, we say it's open.
So those who are not members of the Big Six, is it justified to say they should see the Big Six as another camp that is contesting?
No, it is not. It is not a camp. It is not a camp.
It's a faction within the party.
It's not a faction within the party. It is just a forum that has been created for us to get to know each other better. You know, we all worked together in the Anisbai Kuruma government, but sincerely, we all never knew each other before coming to work, to the workplace. And throughout the 10 years, we had a lot of tensions between and amongst us, and that did not help the situation at all for us in governance. So we have to make sure that we overcome that. Let us initially be friends. Let's initially try to appreciate and understand each other, our various nuances and those things that could affect our delivery. And once we build that bond, where we see each other, or we become each other's keeper, I think we'll be able to build a team to be formidable. And with that team, we hope we can rescue this country, we can bring back victory for the APC. And when even we get into governance, we'll be able to lead this country in the way in which the citizenry will be very proud of us, because we are going to do it as a team and not as any individual or any person that thinks he or she can lord it over everybody else. We'll build a very formidable team, and we'll all take responsibility for the successes we are hope.
Dr. Conte, I'm going to ask the same question Lamrena asked just now. With the Big 6+, this is like another division within the APC party. Don't you think this will cause, like, for the ones that are not part of the Big 6+, don't you think this is more like you're sidelining them? No,
it is not a faction, like I maintain, and nobody is sidelined. It's a question of choice.
Okay.
You know, just like I'm sure even in AYV here, you have your own friends. You don't go out to lunch with everybody. You have your own friends with whom you go out for lunch. Does that mean that you're sidelining anybody? No, it's just your preference.
Okay, so this is just like a personal cabal within the APC?
Yeah, it's just friends. We're trying to build a bond of friendship, and we think that is helpful for us within the political party.
Is the objective to present a single candidate from the Big 6+?
Not necessarily.
Contesting
not
against?
Necessarily. Not necessarily.
But what the guiding principle of the Big 6, especially when all of you have the same ambition?
We don't discuss each other's campaign, interestingly.
Okay.
We don't discuss each other's campaign in our meetings. We just discuss APC, we discuss issues in the APC, and we proffer solutions to those issues in the APC. That's all.
So what's your criteria of joining the Big 6?
You should be a member of the APC. You don't even need to aspire for flag bearership or any position to be a member of the APC. Okay. I mean, of the Big 6+. We have Oluni Robin Koka, who has not expressed an interest in any position in the APC, but is a member of the Big 6+. And a few others will join us very soon who have not aspired or expressed an interest in any position, but they are active members of the APC. They are interested in success for the APC, and they want to be part of a formidable team that will fight for success for the APC party in the 2023 general elections and the
This was how the NRM started within the party. The objective was to advocate for the grassroots and bring the party together, and they ended up taking the party to court, and we all see how it ended.
I'm not sure the two are the same. I don't know the fine details of what you're talking about, but what I know...
But you know about the NRM. You know they're part of the...
Yes, but we have no intentions of taking any party to court. On the flip side of things, actually, we are interested in uniting the party. We're interested in bringing together all the factions. We want to make it easier. We want to make it such that when, at the end of the day, one of us emerges as the flag bearer, we will all feel so comfortable with each other that we can all support. You know, would you believe that I went to Potloko in the absence of Kemo and stayed in his house? And he cooked for me and I ate. I went to Gabala. I stayed in Kaifala Mara's house. Actually, I slept in his bedroom in his absence. You know, ate his food. Kaifala Mara comes to my place in Makeni, Petito comes to my place in Makeni, Kemo comes to my place in Makeni. That type of interaction. The other day, we went to Paolo's house, and we all, the wife cooked for us, and we all ate together. And tomorrow, by the way, we will be at Crown Bakery at 12. All of us. We're going to have lunch together. We want to demystify this idea that says when you people are vying for the same position, you are enemies. No, it's not enmity. It's just democracy. Just
is it that you're building a stronger force within the party that can decide on who becomes flag bearer or who leads the party in the forthcoming elections?
That's not the intention.
But that is what you're pushing to.
We would wish that we can get to a point where one of us can become the flag bearer.
And if it doesn't go your, if it doesn't go your way, it becomes a problem.
In the event that does not happen and some other person in the APC becomes the flag bearer, we have also made up our minds to say we will support whoever emerges as flag bearer for the APC. Because for us, at the end of the day, it's not about us. It's about the APC. It's about Sierra Leone. And we believe that it will take a united APC, a formidable team in the APC to guarantee victory for the APC.
Is the former president, who is also chairman of the party, chairman and leader, is he a member of the Big 6?
Yeah, he's an associate member of the Big 6. We have extended an invitation to him, but he did not decline.
So who are the people within the Big 6? Or Big 6+?
Okay. Big 6+ is myself, Ibrahim Bundu, Kemo Sise, Honorable Colson Toure, Balo Conte, Mami Petito Koroma, Dr. Kaifala Mara, lawyer Abubakar Kaloko, Oluni Robikoka, Dauda Tumbo Bangura, etc., etc. The list can go on. So this is roughly the list, and we are increasing on a daily basis, and we hope we can get to the point we are all flag bearer aspirants.
So
and all of those contesting for key positions in the party can be meeting. It's just a forum for interaction, and we think that type of interaction is what has been missing in our party for a long while, and we think that type of interaction will be needed if our party is to really present a formidable force.
Okay, so you're saying the Big 6 Plus is more like a company of friends coming together and trying to push their agenda within the APC. How does this help in uniting the APC? Taking into consideration, recently you've been having a lot of issues within the party.
Okay, first of all, when you say APC, it's about individuals, it's about people.
Okay.
It is not anything abstract, it is people. And so the first step to peace, unity in any entity, in any constellation of people, is for them to have an understanding, know each other, appreciate each other, understand each other, and see the value in each other. That is precisely what we hope to do with the Big 6 Plus. We want to get us to understand each other, appreciate each other, see each other for what we are, and appreciate each other for what we are. And we hope that when that bond is built between us, it will make it a lot much easier for us to be able to galvanize our efforts together, pool our resources together, and fight a common cause in the interest of APC and to deliver our country.
Okay. Why I'm asking that, only the people in the Big 6 Plus, they are not just the only people within the APC party. Sure. So the values that you're trying to build, how will those values be translated onto the lower people? Well, if I should say that, the least APC member.
Well, I think one thing that is now happening is that even when our supporters see us together, then they start, so they're not the Fed. So in fact, Fed will be there, they're united. And gradually our supporters will also start building that synergy, that unity amongst themselves, and we hope it will have a snowball effect.
Okay.
That is the intention.
Let's bring Honorable Bundu into the discussion. Good morning and welcome to Wake Up Sierra Leone. Are you a member of the Big 6 Plus?
Yeah, well, I've not been that. The Big 6 is a very formidable group.
Okay. Of which you are part of?
Yes, they're calling it the Big 6 Plus.
Mm.
So that tells you have associate member. He has just told you, former president, an associate member. You know, you have very active and passive membership, to say the least, as far as I know, because I'm not as active as he is. I mean, he is an authority to actually give you the membership and their various activities. Because, you know, as APC members, when you see your friends whom you have worked with for quite some time, and they ask you to be part of them, I'm sure, I mean, we are all out there to see that we have, at the end of the day, a united party, and that is the objective.
And you've heard from him, the objective is to, as he says, to bring the party together, to bring those who want to be leaders of the party, flag bearer, together in the spirit of whoever wins, they will support each other. Do you ascribe to that? Do you think groups like Big 6 and others are needed within your party?
Oh, definitely, because it's not about needing the Big 6. As far as I know, even when you are filling out your form to be whatever position you want in the party, I mean, if it's going to be an elective position, you have to fill out a portion where it says, in case you lose, I mean, are you going to support the position of the party? You are under oath to actually fill out that. I mean, what I'm seeing currently happening is a serious administrative lapses.
Okay, within the party.
Within the party. All of what we are doing is as a result of non-compliance to our rules and regulations and our laws in the party. I mean, if that document, that secret document, and the administrative officers that are supposed to implement that document are really sincere and very forthright to the cause or to the duties which they are assigned to, will not be having all of these Big Six, Big Ten, what have you. Because all of those administrative assignments are there, clearly spelled out in the
So the lack of administrative, administration within the party, does it involve the chairman and leader? Do you think he hasn't been able to provide that leadership within the party?
Well, you see, I think we are talking for the second time about, I hate to talk about the chairman and leader. I like to talk
but
about,
he's the leader of the party, he provides leadership.
I know. I like to talk about, I mean, from my own administrative experience, I like to talk about leadership because it's like a chain. When one is, is taken from the other, it becomes so a leader might be very, very upright, might be very good, but maybe you pass on assignments to others. If they don't cooperate, even with iron fist instructions, that might also have its own problems. So that's why when I speak, I always talk about leadership. That is not to say I don't want to cast or I don't want to hold a leader responsible because the buck stops at you. This is a big political party. And believe me, the only way that one can safely hold that mantle and drive it is definitely you have to be forthright. You have to be very interactive. A leader, you must be what I call, you must be available, capable, and accessible. Okay. All of those things are things you can.
And these are things that are missing with the chairman and leader.
Yes, most of these things are missing. Most of these things are missing. The last time I was here, I think I brought in the issue of our party sitting on 4 organs. Okay. And these 4 organs, I mean, it is deliberately there to actually guide the party. Like you have Sierra Leone, we have the legislative arm, we have the executive arm, we have the judiciary. I mean, these are the arms that actually control the, by way of division of labor, by way of, everybody doing his own thing, independent. They can collaborate, but independent of the others. These 4 organs are very important. That's why I highlighted them on radios and television discussions like this. The national, what you call the National Delegates Conference. That's where we call everybody, including outsiders, to come and see how we democratically run our party. You have the National Advisory Committee, NAC. That is like the cabinets, the senior cabinet or the senatorial assembly of the party. Then below it you have the National Executive Committee. That's like the other lower layer where issues of the party are discussed at a higher level. But there is a higher level like the National Advisory Committee called NAC. And you have the National Committee, which is like the General Assembly. You hear us saying APC, All People's Congress. That is the Congress of the party. That is where you have all the chairmen of constituencies. That is where you have all the chairmen of districts and regions, including National Executive Committee membership, all the members of the National Executive Committee, all the members of the National Advisory Committee. This gives you a mix. Imagine all the chairmen of the constituency coming to report about issues and analyzing them to you, what is going on in their constituency, in the presence of the leader and chairman and the other members of the NAC.
So how would you define the leadership of former President Anis Nkrumah?
How do I?
How will you define the leadership?
Well, it has its own, it has its own challenges, it has its own good things that they have done. But I'm pointing out some of these because I'm a senior member of this party. Okay. And I've seen this party run before the current chairman and leader. He came into power in 2005. That tells you we started running this party under the 1995 Constitution in way back before he became he assumed that leadership. Okay. So I saw the way those organs were working and how those organs were enhancing and promoting the work of the entire leadership. You know, so most of these misunderstandings about going to court, about forming these, you know, that is not to say problems were not there.
Obviously, it sounds like you're not supportive of the formation of groups like Big Six within the party. In having the belief that if the executive or the national bodies are working well, you don't need groups like Big Six within the party.
Well, definitely, the need would not even arise because this is now a new phenomenon. You know, in the party, the NRM, the ARM, the Big Six, the Big Four. We're talking about all of these people are members of the party. And by our association with the party, by our good leadership in the party, was all of us supposed to be members of these all of these organs. Okay. From constituency to like for instance, I am now a former member of parliament. When I was a member of parliament, I am a member of the executive from constituency to the region. Now, as a former member, we are also part of the advisory board, you know, and that is the reason why those advisory officers will be put into all of those organs, provided these organs are meeting, provided these organs are constituted and supervised by the leadership of the party. This is what I'm saying.
It seems the Big Six, the party has recognized the Big Six already. Just a few days ago, there was a press release that they had a meeting with them and they've agreed on a roadmap for peace within the party. Do you agree to this engagement? It seems your party, have been engaging with other stakeholders and they are ready to reconcile.
Those are all makeshift arrangements.
You were part of it. You are not aware of it.
No, well, I heard about it, but I did not participate.
Why? Why not?
These are, you see, definitely every organization has its own rules and regulations. Okay. If those rules and regulations are strictly adhered to, some of these pocket arrangements, it is now like a response to things that we're supposed to have done. And, when you call people like Kemo Sise, Alwami Petito Kuruma, these are members of NAC. That is where the second highest decision is taken, and even my colleagues seated here. These are very important. They have a high political voice in decision making in our party. Really, with the experience and of the APC and its people, we should be the least party that should be,
So you're saying all these pockets that are coming up within the party is due to lack of leadership? Well,
yes, lack of good leadership. Because where there is good leadership, with all the attendant work that is supposed to be done in accordance with the Constitution, the need for some of these things to come. That is not to say they will not come up, because in any organization you have alliances, like he stated. But definitely the way it is coming, APC is not actually supposed to be run by a Big Six or a Big Five. Because all the things that we are supposed to do as a party with the officers who are put in charge, But you hear every day, you can imagine, APC, we lost elections in 2018. So that is now saying, and this administration, today, some of them were running governments. We are in government. Like the Secretary General was ambassador, the leader and chairman was president. So today, all of those positions are gone. It's just a question of now running the party, the APC party. For 3 years, we cannot put it together.
So what is the way forward?
Well, the way forward is some of it is what you are saying now. You know, this offshoot of Big Six, offshoot of NRM, ARM, lawsuits. Because some of them, you know, they look at what is going on and maybe they don't have access to secret dress. They don't have, you know, the leadership or the leader is not available. The Secretary General, you see fracas. This guy came from Alfred Conte. He came from the US. He made a lawsuit, and he came for the first time to come and, you know, be present at a court sitting. I think he requested, from what I heard, he requested to hold a press conference at the party office. And I think from what he said, there was an agreement, you know, that, oh, you are a comrade, and that is your policy. Because as a member of a political party, you have to be paid up, you have to be active. When you fulfill all of those, the party office is your property. You are part of that property. I mean, there should be set rules and regulations as to how somebody can use it as a member. All of those things are not there. So you find out that is the Secretariat.
Who will you want to hold responsible?
The
you say 3 years down the line.
3 years down the line.
Who
All of
will
them.
you want to hold responsible for what is happening within your party?
All of them.
Okay.
From the chairman leader to the Secretariat to the NAC, you know, because these are, when you talk about NAC, you have elders. You have the regional chairman of the five regions that we have. You have, you know, very good people who have served this party, because we have conditions precedent for you to even hold certain positions, although most of it were not followed. I informed the public here the other day. If you look at our 2017 rules and regulations, most of it is flouted. Some people who are members of our national executive have no business being there, because it is clearly stated there as a condition precedent that you must have held a position at both constituent, at district or regional level for at least 10 years. So you to actually display, you know, interest, to display loyalty, you know, it's like certain positions, you must give you a criteria.
Okay, let's bring Dr. Conte into the discussion. Your colleague here believes, you know, there is no need for groups or factions like Big Six within your party if the administrative angle of the party is working well. Do you agree with him to that?
No, I beg to disagree on that. You know, even in developed democracies, like in the US, within the same political party, we have the liberals, we have the conservatives, and we have the moderates. And they have these groupings. And in America, for example, in the Republican Party, they also have the Tea Party movement. They are all part of the Republican Party. It just goes to say that even within a party, people could have different persuasions, different leanings, and that could influence how they align themselves. And I think what is emerging in the Big Six Plus is a group of people that to a great extent will eventually be able to look at issues from the same perspective.
But it seems you're positioning yourself that to a point you're considered very, very important, that the leadership can engage you, others are left out. He's saying it here that he heard about it, he wasn't part of it, and possibly I've listened to Dr. Sylvia Blyden making similar, you know, raising similar concerns that the leadership is, you know, meeting with people they're comfortable with. People like you are part of the Big Six.
Like I said, he did not attend the inaugural meeting because he was in court on the day of the meeting on Wednesday. I'm sure if he, I even spoke with him on the phone, if he had not been in court, he would have been in the meeting, and I'm sure he would have then been able to have a better understanding. The view, Sylvia Blyden also has a right to her opinion. I don't know the fine details of what she said, but I respect her opinion. All I'm saying is that, you know, he made one statement here. He said, a leader should be available and accessible. And I agree with him. But sometimes, again, you also have to approach the leader and try to engage. And that is what we did. We believe that when we are in a party, naturally there could be issues that could come up in any party. I mean, even in the developed democracies, when they have their internal issues, they should be able to address them internally. We don't believe, we in the Big 6 Plus do not believe that differences in our party should be settled in court. No. We believe that when we have differences within our party, we should be in a position to engage our leadership, raise these concerns, and be able to seek an amicable settlement. And that has informed how, as Big 6, before we now have this Big 6 Plus, we've held a number of meetings with the leadership of our party, because we are so concerned about our party, the way it is functioning, and the way forward. So whenever we observe anything happening that we believe would undermine the chances of our party growing up, that could go against the best interests of our party, we would approach the leadership and ask for a meeting.
So do you agree, as Honorable Bundu said, do you agree that the issues that are coming up within the party is due to poor administration and poor leadership?
Every party has issues.
Okay.
Every political party has issues. You go to America, you see the issues within the Republican Party. Big issues. You go even to the Democrats, you have Manchin and others who have their own ideas about how to do things. You have the Bernie Sanders and others who is an independent and he has his own way of thinking, but they're all part of the same party. For me, I don't want to cast aspersions on any entity. I always believe that every group is as good as its members.
Okay.
And we shape, let me just finish. And we determine how we want to run it. Yes, we have issues in our party.
Do you agree that there's been leadership issues within the party, administrative issues?
I don't think the problem is just with the leadership. But of course, once you become a leader, you take responsibility. But I don't think the problem is with the leadership. The problem is with the mentality of Sierra Leoneans generally.
Okay.
You know, one, we do not believe that there can be healthy competition. And so the moment anybody challenges you in a contest for any position, that person automatically becomes an enemy. You see, the problem we have in the APC right now is just, it's not really a fight, I don't call it a fight. It's a contest for the flag bearership, for the leadership, for the new leadership of the APC. And we have a situation wherein some people who have been in those positions think now that it's their birthright. Anybody who now challenges them to any of these positions has committed a crime.
Okay.
Understand? And some of us are saying, no. It is also our democratic rights, if we so desire, to run for any of these positions, and nobody will take offense. So those tensions will arise. So we're just hoping that eventually we'll be able to have our new constitution when we go to convention, and eventually the transitional arrangements, including the setting up of the Traditional Independent Elections Management Committee, will set in. And that body, we hope, will be representative enough, will be objective enough in its composition, and will be able to administer the elections in ways that will be acceptable.
So as you try to put modalities in place in fixing the petty issues within the APC, how would you define the current leadership?
I don't think I need to define the current leadership.
Okay.
They are the leadership.
Are you satisfied with them? Are you satisfied?
That is the beauty in democracy. When you elect somebody for a term, at the end of the term, if the person's performance is satisfactory,
So are you satisfied with the current leadership?
If I'm satisfied?
Yeah.
Not necessarily, but I think they have done their own bits. When we go to convention, we'll decide on the new leadership we want.
They've been challenged that their term have expired. Dr. Blyden have done that. The case in courts as well. There's been this issue about the chairman and leader, and others should resign. Do you subscribe to that, or the Big 6 believes in that? If
you are looking at term expiration in absolute terms, you should be in power for 3 years. If the 3 years elapses, you are no longer qualified. What we have failed to take into consideration are the realities within the country, within our party. Yes, it is true that when you're elected for 3 terms. I mean, for 3 years. If we had gone to convention in January of 2020 and we had our elections, then the issue of terms expiring would have arisen, because they were still within the 3 years. But unfortunately for us, we did not, we were injuncted, and so there was no convention, so there was no election. And because there was an injunction, it was not possible for us to conduct any elections. So when October 15 came, there is nothing else that could have happened but to extend the term. And the Constitution of the APC makes provision under Article 6, I think Article 6, 11, 10. It makes, I've forgotten the exact quote, but at Article 6, it provides for a situation wherein in emergency situations, the NAC can transform itself or constitute itself into a National Delegates Conference and perform the functions of the National Delegates Conference. And that is what I believe the leadership did on the 15th of October.
And you think that is justified?
It is provided for in our Constitution.
And you think it's okay?
It is provided for in our Constitution.
Yeah, we understand that, but you think it's okay? Do you believe it's the right thing to be done?
We have to be guided by the Constitution.
Okay.
Because we believe that the Constitution as is, 1995 Constitution, does not meet modern day trends. That is why some of us have been part of the process to have it reviewed. The new Constitution, in my view, is more democratic and responds to our current realities in a better way, and we hope that such things will not happen. And we also hope that in future, with the new arrangements, space should be provided for people to vent out their anger. I think what led us to court is because the aggrieved people were not listened to.
Quickly, before we come to Honorable Bundu, what will you say to those members, as chairman of Big Six, as part of those...
I'm not chairman of Big Six. We don't have a chairman.
But you're one of the leaders, or you are just a senior member. I see
we are all members.
Okay.
We are all equal.
Okay, as a member of Big Six and one of the flag bearer aspirants,
yes.
What will you say to people who hold this opinion that former President Kuma, as chairman and leader of your party, should give way, should resign and leave that position?
I've said it on this TV station repeatedly, that my own view is that our Constitution provides for a process for power to change hands. It will happen at a convention or at an earlier date through resignation, death, or incapacity. Nobody has died. I'm not sure there is evidence of incapacity, and I'm not sure there is yet a resignation. So for me, he remains our leader and chairman. If he chooses today to resign, I'm sure somebody will step into his shoes and move on. I don't believe that anybody is indispensable.
Okay.
But I believe that at the appropriate time...
And you're satisfied with his leadership?
Well, I know that his leadership has challenges because of his status as an elder statesman. He cannot do those things that Ibrahim Bundu or myself would be able to do. So that he's constrained in that regard, and we have to acknowledge those realities. But at the same time, even though we have those shortcomings in terms of him being constrained in what he can do or not do, we also should acknowledge the fact that he has served. He continues to be an influential person in our party, and I don't think he should be pushed out. I believe that he should be allowed to have a respectable exit. He has indicated that the only reason why he's still there is because we have not been able to go to convention.
Why is he's the one who said he's going to resign after the elections when he voted?
He said so. He said so. Why he has not kept his promise, it's for him to answer. I'm just saying, in our party we have leader and chairman. His current status will not allow him to perform as well as he would have performed otherwise. So therefore, in my position, I could have done things differently. But in his own position, he believes that he wants to steer or to superintend the transition phase.
Okay.
That's his view. So all I am hoping for is that, yes, that is genuinely what he desires, what he wants to do, and let us hopefully be able to resolve our differences early enough to be able to go to convention and have the new leadership put in place.
Honorable Bundu, do you still believe that the chairman and leader should step aside?
Definitely so. Yes, I mean, he has just, in a very, diplomatic way, told you that given his status and other attendant responsibilities, if it was him, he would have done things differently. He didn't want to tell you I would step aside, because this is for the interest. It is not for your own. It came from you. You see, the question here is, most of us, or a lot of us, or even all of us, including him, are saying the party is bigger than all of us. If I am constrained with certain things that I cannot do as leader, given my responsibility or my position at the moment, I think the best thing to do is to, ask others to step in. Ask others to step in, but that has not happened. You see, a lot of things has happened to this party.
Is it not that he's holding on because he wants to keep the party together? And like he is suggesting, say he wants to pretend until there is peaceful transition, handing over to someone else.
You can still do that by not holding on to power, because it has proven very difficult with him. He took us to convention, the first convention in January 2020. It has its own attendant big problems. In fact, that was the time we had the first injunction, when these guys went to court.
Okay.
And their concerns were, we are not permitted to participate as active members, meaning here as delegates to that conference. And a delegate list was not even published. That is very legitimate. You cannot go to a convention without publishing the delegate list, because these are the people that are going to vote. The representative of the APC people that are going to vote for whatever issue that is tabled. So they were not included, and even the list for those who are going to vote was not published. That's a very legitimate concern, and that was why they took it to court. So all of those things would have been avoided just like that, because this is not a new party, one of the oldest parties, and it's a very, have very experienced people.
Okay. Well, continue to stay with us. Honorable Bundu and Dr. Richard Conte. It's now time for a news summary, and we'll be right back.
Police in the country's second capital of Bo closed down Bitcoin operating company My Residual Income Global Sierra Leone.
Me, I don't have 10 million. The money is small. So I beg my rabbi, I get to keep picking it. Yeah, I get my sister, they went and the other day from 5. I mean, they take job.
I'll put 5 million. So any month, I forget about 2,500,000. That's 6 million put now. So they feel good because the money says where they tell you about so where they put and I don't see the better. Now the club money I take account put here in form of loan.
If that money that lost, I go die. And they die because I'm the last hope I don't put stay.
The official they can make reporting. The residual income office, when a financial institution, they run financial services, they can tell you that without valid license.
We here then said the 29 that they can launch the same program, and being that we people that are not into government, we are just coming up because we don't open the people that yai to this cryptocurrency, or we want let everybody benefit from CLA, not all the time CLA for the BN for anything. So now they don't put a BN we.
Amnesty International engages media in celebration of 60th anniversary.
The campaigns which we did, which was very successful, is what led to the free health care that we are all shouting about now. This was the report, the research and the report we did in 2008, and the report was launched in 2009, out of which the cost of maternal health is million. This report created some tensions. It was an occasion for the president to sell out the issue of the free health care, that there is need for this country to have the free health care because they believe that pregnant women are dying needlessly because of the cost involved in terms of receiving treatment. And so,
one lucky thing about group is that we had the strong support of the then Paramount Chief, the late Shebra Kumkanda. He gave us all the support that we needed. And he promised us to protect if, as and when, the government decides to pounce on us. He gave us the assurance that he will protect us. We developed from group status to section status about 15 years after the formation, because that is the principle of Amnesty International.
Amnesty have created huge impact in building our capacities and nationally, and they've organized trainings for us, and we've come here at other training venues, and we've learned a lot, and even through our youth camps we organize, and we don't only go there for fun, we also get human rights education aspect of Amnesty, and I believe these have supported and empowered us in our different communities.
And Mayor of Freetown Yvonne Akisoya unveils Rotary Club of Freetown Wheel and Garden at Jomo Kenyatta Road.
We are here today to commission the Rotary Wheel. The Rotary Wheel is the logo for Rotary International. We want to show the work of Rotary in Sierra Leone. That is why we commissioned this wheel. We install it in a very strategic location. So everybody who passes along Jomo Kenyatta Road can see the wheel and ask, what is Rotary International? And that will give them an opportunity to know what Rotary is about. We want to support the mayor in beautifying Freetown because we know the mayor has a dream to beautify Freetown. And we think by having this very nice logo located in a very prominent part of town, trying to put a garden around the logo, that will help to beautify Freetown.
I think this roundabout, this process that you're doing now, really speaks to what Transform Freetown is all about. It's not about the city council on its own making interventions in the city. It's about Freetonians joining in with the vision and collectively us making the individual changes that will culminate in a transformed city. You've done this here today, and Rotary as an organization has a long and fruitful and an exemplary history. The work that you do, the work you've done in this country, the work you've done in this city, and the work you've done elsewhere really speaks to the things that make our hearts beat and that makes change possible.
Well, welcome back. This is Wake Up Sierra Leone on AYV Television on Channel 33. We're also on Radio FM 101.7. Streaming online at www.ayvnews.com and on our Facebook page. There are so many comments. There is one I want to read quickly. It's from Marcos Leby, and he's asking, he's saying, good morning, AYV. I just want to ask members of the Big 6 Plus whether Dr. Alaji Samsumana is a member of the Big 6 Plus. That's a question.
He's not a member.
Okay, Marcos, I think that answers your question. Let's take some messages. Ronald Beresford says, like Mr. Bundu said, the rules of the party must be respected and abided by, which isn't the case. You have those who believe in their right to rule, regardless of the constitution, which means the rules are not important as far as they are concerned, and that spells doom for your party.
Alfred Conte says Honorable Bundu has the moral support of the genuine members of the APC. He is speaking freely because he is not corrupt.
Elijah Makebe says the negative side of politics is the lack of truth. People don't have any sense of integrity.
Ronald Beresford Georgestone says, in my opinion, you can see that these gentlemen are being very careful of what they are saying. One understands your concerns, but you have to be honest in your views. And for the betterment of your party, only you can free yourself from the bondage you find yourselves in. Because if you have a party constitution which isn't followed, then there lies your problem.
And Jibril says Samsumana political career finished since he rejoined the APC. APC has put him where they wanted him. That's from Jibril.
Alfred Conte is saying the Big Six was created by Anis by Koroma to create more confusion in the APC party. All of them are his puppets and they are all corrupt, including the plus that they're asked to add to their list.
And Abbas Habib, that's the final one I could take for now. Abbas Habib Koka Bangali says, is asking Dr. Conte, why forming a Big Six if the chairman and leader is legitimate?
And my final message for now, I'm trying to not to read some other messages, some of the other messages, so because please, we're not attacking personalities here, so some of your messages, I will deliberately not read them out. But I think that's all for now.
Yeah. And this final one, Samasan says, 3 years President Kurma has held the APC party to ransom. Is from Usam Conte. Doc, you want to react to some of the messages?
No, I think they are legitimate. I agree with them. But you know what? What we have done in the new constitution is to really provide for a situation to avoid what we are in right now. In the new revised constitution, for example, if you run as a flag bearer and you lose, you cease to be leader of the party. You know, I think after 3 months or 6 months?
6 months.
After 6 months. Because within those 6 months, there should be elections and the new leader is elected. And this time we are saying it will not only be the leader, the flag bearer who will go, but even the executive, the chairman of the party, who is the executive chairman of our party, will also go after 6 months. The only reason why we provided for the 6 months is to give sufficient time for us to be able to conduct elections, because the constitution says you have to give, publish the notice for I think 30 days, and you have to send out the list 30 days before the election. So some preparatory work would need to be done. So I'm sure this situation would never arise again with the new constitution. The 1995 constitution is vague. It is silent on a range of issues, and because of that silence, then it is open to different interpretations. And that is how we have found ourselves where we are. But we have taken note of that, and those necessary provisions have been made in the new constitution. That's why for some of us, we cannot wait for the day when that new constitution will set in. It is not perfect.
Well, what's the roadmap and reconciliation that the APC press release spoke about, that after the meeting with the Big Six Plus, they've had a roadmap, a reconciliation for the party? What is that, especially when you have members of your party like Honorable Bundu who still think the executive, the chairman and leader should resign, and the national leadership hasn't been effective?
No, that's his opinion. He has a right to it, and I believe he has legitimate arguments in that regard. What we have done in that roadmap is to acknowledge, in the first instance, that we have issues, to acknowledge that we have problems, to acknowledge that we have divisions, and that there's need for healing, that people have been hurt over the years. It goes without saying. Many people have been hurt over the years, including myself, including himself, and many others. So we are saying the first step to addressing our ills going forward is to be able to set up a commission or a committee that will address issues around peace and reconciliation and healing. Because we think we need that inside the party, so that we can go into the elections as a team, where we all see each other as brothers and sisters. That is the first thing. After that, we said there are currently looming issues that as a party we need to have a more structured approach to dealing with. There's the issue about the ongoing NCRA process, the registration and verification process. We believe as a party we should have a structured approach to it, and so there should be a committee that would work with NCRA, with government, to be able to see how our membership across the country can fully participate and take full advantage of it. There's the issue about the census, this famous midterm census. We don't know exactly where it stands now. There are speculations that it might come up in September or thereabout, we don't know. But whatever the scenario, we have taken a position as a party, but we also need a committee to be working around issues about this census and possibly the one for 2025. There's also the issue about NEC generally. If we are preparing for elections in 2022 and 2023, we need to start put in place a committee to start laying out the structures necessary to position our party. So we also are saying that after we have addressed these types of issues, then we should also have a committee to plan for the NDC. We don't have to wait until they say NDC is tomorrow before we start planning for it.
And Honorable Bundu is saying, if the party is functioning properly, you don't need all two-ways concerns on all those things.
No. Every party has these structures. We did not have them before. I've told you that we had limitations. I think I acknowledged that we have challenges. And so this is a response to those challenges, and that is what we have done as Big Six, to say, hey, these things should have been in place. They are not in place. We think it should happen. So
you're providing the leadership now?
No, we are recommending, and it has been endorsed. So we have an NDC planning committee. Apart from that, we also do acknowledge that within our party, we have people with technical expertise in different sectors. So we have formed another 5 or 6 committees where we have put for the economy, private sector development, for the growth sector, for governance issues and rule of law issues, for those types of committees. We have about 5 or 6 of them. And we've looked around our party and we have identified people with expertise, both nationally and internationally, and we've slotted them into these various committees so that work can start. You know, because we believe that even though we are not yet allowed to go to convention, but that does not stop us as a party from functioning as a party. These are things that should ideally have been in place ages ago. Our party is old enough to have known that these things are standard practice, but it has not happened. But we don't need to cry over spilled milk. We still have a future with us, so we should now start putting in place the appropriate systems and structures to ensure. You know, we have what we call a national think tank that will now be set up, that will be properly coordinated, and we have a team that has been identified by the leadership to coordinate this entire process to ensure that everybody, every committee is functioning, knows what it has to do, when it has to do it, and there will be a regular process of reporting back. So that at the end of August or thereabout, we would evaluate how it is working or not working and be able to see what adjustments can be made going forward.
Honorable Bundu, will you be part of the conciliation process, and the process is serious?
He has no choice, he has to be.
You know, when you put responsibility to, or when people take responsibility in an unregulated manner, you know, there is always suspicion. Granted, I mean, we are all responsible to make sure there is peace and tranquility in the party. That's why we are bringing out all of these things. But our main regulator here is the Constitution, and our supervisor and regulator also is the PPRC. These are the, you know, when I'm a lawmaker, when you operate within those ambits, definitely some of these things, you know, we are first of all, we are aspirants for various positions. It's difficult to convince the other people who are not members to say we are going to provide the roadmap. You know, who regulates that? Who approves that? You know, but when it is coming from the Constitution, which binds all of us are members. We bound to go by the Constitution. So what I'm saying here, currently we cannot, those who are aspirants, those who are also reformers, all of us now are in confusion with the current executive. So the only other people that can step in an interim capacity are elders of the party. This party, mind you, in 1995, before 1995, we are off. So we re-registered this party in 1995. The people who registered this party today, some of you, if I call names, you will think that they've even passed on. The ML Banguras, Abdullah Conte, J.E. Livers. These people are alive, believe me, but the party is not reaching out to them. When a situation such as ours, like it has now become very, very evident to everybody that, believe me, there is no trust between us and the leadership. I've said it here, I'm saying it again. And even him as the leader, he said it in one of the meetings, that there is a lack of trust amongst us. So who steps in? The elders.
So there is no progress even with the announcement that there will be a roadmap for reconciliation and unity.
Who leads that roadmap? The current leadership is in courts. And those who want to join them also have their own ambition, and they have to actually, how are they being regulated? Who's going to regulate them? So what we are saying here is, we are now in courts. Let us allow the process, the process of the courts to actually move on. Because
the former president,
the last time
he wasn't elected by a court system, and he will not be removed by a court system.
Well, that is another kettle of fish. The courts, they are the judiciary, and they have their own way of doing their own things. There was an appeal, and the appeal has been denied. So
isn't that a statement that he's determined to stay until the entire membership thinks?
Well, I don't know the strength where he's hoping to get that strength to overturn what the court says, according to him. So he has a responsibility to sit with you here and explain to the nation, because you cannot say those words for nothing. You must have something. You must have some attendant reasons why you say them, and I'm not in any position to say that. But I'm still. When two people fight, especially people in your household, and it is the role of the elders to mediate, to intervene. This is anytime I have an opportunity to be here, I evoke those names, I call those names. These people are alive and kicking. Some of them we met around. Why are you sitting up to today? You don't come to the rescue of this party. They have to rescue this party. We have lost trust amongst ourselves, to say the least. So that's
you're sounding like you don't have hope that the reconciliation or roadmap process will work.
It has taken so long. We have done even over time. I mean, the NRM took, these are young men whom we helped to pay school fees, we sent them to college. I mean, if they are disgruntled or they have problems with us, we should be able to put them together. But 2 years down the road, we have not. So it is now a responsibility of others to come and try their own way. Because you see, mediation, look, when we failed to mediate ourselves here during the time of the war, what happened? We went up to Lome, Lome 1, Lome 2. It's not a question of, if I cannot mediate between me and you, we cannot reconcile. Then let's get a third party. And this third party, we are not taking it from outside. We are asking our elders, the Eddie Tourés, the Abdullah Contes, the ML Banguras, all of these people, because they have the record of this party. They know they can come up with things that most people don't know. That is why they are going into some of these problems.
Honorable, as we round up now, how soon should we expect to see peace within the party?
Definitely, it should be soonest. In my view, by now should be sitting here telling you people's strategies as to how we remove the SLPP.
So we're expecting to see
we are still raining insults, against ourselves. We are still doing a lot of things.
So are we expecting to see unity within the APC before the coming election?
We will always have unity. You see, I entered Parliament and I became active member of this party in 2002. That is not to say that was the time I registered. I was, but I became very active when I was member of Parliament. And there's similarity about what's happened to us when from 2002 to 2005. We are in court, similarly. We were in court, and that court from 2002 up to 2005, the judge ruled that please go and settle your matters within yourselves. We came, and some of the conditions that the plaintiffs were coming up with was to say we don't trust this executive. That was why the chairman and leader then, Chukwuma Johnson, had to resign. We don't trust this Secretary General. That was the reason why the current Secretary General, Yasane, had to resign, so that to give peace a chance, because that was their condition.
So you're expecting them to do the same?
I mean, this is not new. When they did that, the party benefited. We went to convention, and Chukwuma was chosen. I mean, what is the difficulty for him to say, if I am the problem, look, let me step aside and let the process move on.
So you think he's the problem?
I don't want to say I think he's the problem.
You know he's the problem.
I am stating the facts.
Okay.
You can say what you want to say.
Well, finally, what recommendation will you give to the Big Six and the executive itself, the APC in general? We have
overstayed with the internal politics. We have the bigger picture, the bigger assignment to get these people. The people of Sierra Leone are yearning to see the SLPP out. I will not hesitate to say it anywhere. It is politics, but the reality is there. So if we are not only disappointing ourselves, we will be disappointing the people of this country, apart from the APC people.
Okay.
Because there are so many things. This is a multi-party nation. Even other political, you're hearing about a consortium, all of these people coming together. Because now, the only way to get this country to where we want to get it is for us to come together.
Okay.
Under the guise of either the APC or the SLPP to an election.
Thank you very much, Honorable Bundu. Finally, Dr. Conte, you've heard from him. He's one of your members, but he thinks otherwise. He thinks you're not addressing the bigger issue, which is the elephant in the room, is the former chairman and leader.
Well, in any institution, we have different people, we have different opinions, we have different approaches. Even if there is one problem, we know the problem, the ways of solving it could be different. And he has his own prescription. I would rather go for reconciliation. And I believe that is key. All of the concerns that he has, all of the concerns that others would have, all of the concerns that I have, should be addressed within the party. He gave the very good case about 2002 when we had the problem. The courts advised us to come and solve our problems inside the party, and we're just doing the same. We believe that we have people capable enough. We have people capable enough within the party to address our issues. You mentioned some names. We believe that those and others can help to do that. He also said we should not be talking about how we can put in place systems and structures to be able to win the next election. So that is precisely what those committees are about. They are there being set up so that people can now come together and start working on things that will lead us in that direction. So yes, I think I agree with him in that regard. I don't personally believe that we have to be confrontational at this stage. We don't have to continue the attacks. The issue he mentioned about the court case is a totally different issue. We are trying to see how we can reach out to Alfred and his circle of supporters, let us see reason why we can come to the table. That's why, in fact, for us, we are of the view that we have expressed it, that we should not appeal. As bad as the ruling might sound, as draconian as the ruling might sound, since it's just a constitution that we have all agreed to, NAC has approved, it's just a procedural issue. I think we should go to convention and adopt it immediately. The moment it's adopted, the transitional provisions, I think it's Article 86 or whatever, will kick in immediately. And once those ones kick in, all of these concerns that he's raising will no longer arise. Okay. Because we'll have another new independent body that will oversee the process that takes us to a convention. We have to know that, whatever disputes, whatever, all the wars in the world, were settled on a table.
Okay.
So we have to know that whatever differences we may have now, we should know that we have to come together as one people in our party.
Thank you.
Shout at each other, yell at each other, but we'll reach a consensus and work together as a team to move forward. And that is what we believe will be good for our party going forward.
Definitely.
Okay. With that said, thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us in the program.
Thank you very much.
We've been talking to Dr. Richard Conte and Honorable Bundu.
Yes, subscribe. You always dey watch we program them, but you not subscribe yet to the channel. All wetin you get for do, press this red subscribe button, and then you come over here and press this bell. To the bell option, press this one with all. It don't done. It no get for cost you anything. When you do this, na sign for show say you dey support we for make we do more. Thank you for your help we for share this program. Yeah, God bless you.